Okay. So, get to the questions. All right, so finished anatomy of peace. Yay. So the first question is just to discuss the peacemaking pyramid, which I think is actually called the influence pyramid. I'm assuming that's what it was. Okay. So
Do we just want to like read over each part of it and like discuss that, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I have. Where did it go?
I have it. I have the book right here, but
I've got it up too now. Okay, so the top of the pyramid starts with correct, which I kind of just took that as like correcting what you see as an issue, basically.
and I saw more as like not teaching. They're just like, that's wrong, but not teaching you what's right and like how to do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So next level down is teach and communicate.
So I feel like after you've like, someone's been like, oh, that's wrong, you're like more in like a good way, like teaching them and showing them how to grow and how to be better, not just the bluntness of being like, that's wrong, you're doing that wrong, like that's not, like more of like what TR is.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff.
And I liked how this kind of goes with the next one underneath, listen and learn too. But in the book, it kind of explained that we can't effectively teach something unless we ourselves are acting the way that we're trying to teach.
Yeah.
Next to the box where you accuse people of doing things that you yourself are doing, just maybe in a different way, but you just can't really get through to people unless you yourself are living the way that you want them to live.
For sure.
Right. Next one. So listen and learn was the next one. I just kind of wrote like humble yourself and be receptive of teachings from others.
And I got from like the listen and learn portion and part of the book, I think that's what section they were talking about, but like the teachers who were teaching the parents were like, we listened and learned throughout them teaching. Like they had planned for months what they were going to teach them. But then like during the group discussion for like that 2 or 3 days they're there, they focused on what was important to the parents and like answered their questions. They like listened to the participants. Didn't just go like, here, I'm going to show you this like PowerPoint presentation and then like, that's all I'm going to teach you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point too. Okay. So the next one underneath that was build a relationship, which I kind of thought was interesting just because it's just important to be able to know how to communicate with different types of people. And if you don't have a relationship with the person that you are trying to teach or trying to communicate with, then you don't know the best way to get through to them. And so I think the best way to figure that out is just become more than just an acquaintance with them or more than like a client professional type of a situation. Like become their friend and actually get to know them and figure out their interests and the types of things that they're receptive to.
Yeah, I think they did that in the book really well. Like they were all joking around and like by the end they were really comfortable with each other.
Yep. So next one is build a relationship with those that have influence. And I was kind of confused by that, but the description that I had about the parents and their daughter made it a little bit easier to understand because it was the mom was upset about her daughter's choice of friends and she just trying to like limit the time that she had with her friends. But it was suggested to her that she should get to know her daughter and get to know her friends and figure out why it is that her daughter wants to be friends with these people and what good is their relationship potentially, and just kind of dig deeper than even baseline becoming friends with those around you, but getting to know the people that are important in their lives as well.
Yeah, I think that was good because I think a lot of times we like see other people's lives and we don't know what's going on or like how they're seeing it from their point of view. And we're like, well, that's stupid. Like, why would she be friends with these people? But well, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was thinking about that too, I think that's a good thing to understand about working as a professional with clients as well, is you don't only want to know the client, but you want to know their family or their caretaker or somebody that's with them constantly, and like somebody that you can also teach and kind of teach how to deal with a client if it's like a difficult client, or just somebody that you can kind of get more feedback from, and then you yourself can learn as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to like figure out who has influence over them too. Because like even in the book, when like the girl Jenny like ran away, the person who I feel like ultimately had the most influence on her was the friend that she saw at the mall.
Yeah,
Rather than these other people, like her parents even didn't have any influence on her.
that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Um, so let's see. The last thing in the pyramid, the very bottom, says, "Get out of the box and obtain a heart of peace." So that's pretty much just what the whole beginning of the book was.
Mm-hmm.
Just not judging people and understanding their point of view and getting out of your cycle of blaming others for things that you do.
Yeah.
Okay. So next thing we have to discuss are the 3 lessons of the pyramid. So lesson 1, most of the time and effort, most, oh goodness, most time and efforts should be spent at the lower levels of the pyramid. So, any thoughts on that?
I just think it's true. Like you want to spend most of your time like building those relationships and like developing that like relationship with like your patient, your client, rather than just correcting them. Because if you're just correcting them and spending most of your time at the top, like I feel like you're not going to get anywhere because you're going to come from a place of like, I know more than you, I'm better than you. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you build that relationship, it's more of like, I'm an equal, I'm here to help you kind of thing. I've been through this, or I can find someone who can help you that's been through this.
Yeah, that's true. Something that I always find interesting about pyramid graphs, I guess, is obviously the bottom of the pyramid is bigger, and I always kind of grasped from other diagrams that I've seen is the bottom part is bigger because it's the most important and it takes the longest, and it's obviously the foundation of what's going to get you to the top of that pyramid.
It's true.
It's interesting how it all plays out. Lesson 2 is the solution to a problem at one level of the pyramid is always below that level of the pyramid.
I don't think I realized that until they said that, but like then once looking at the pyramid, it's like, okay, you correct someone, what do you do next? You teach them and communicate, and then like you listen and learn, see what else you need to like, maybe you need to focus more on this with that one person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
true.
I think it was at this part, there was the example of like you correcting someone and like your initial reaction, if they're not listening, it's just keep correcting them until they do it. But if you follow the pyramid on the way down, then you can, instead of correcting them, teach them and try to communicate with them. And if that doesn't work, then move down a step and you just keep going until you hit a baseline that you can deal with, and then you make your way back up.
Yeah.
It's nice how it maps it all out.
Yeah. I think it's like creates like a simple plan for something that's like when you're in the moment, it's not simple and it's probably really hard, but like to have this simple like pyramid to follow to like, okay, what do I do next? I can go back and it's simple. That kind of helps you.
All right, last lesson is ultimately my effectiveness at each level of the pyramid depends on the deepest level of the pyramid, my way of being. And I just kind of made a note next to that that just says it all comes down to your own attitude. And if you're not willing to follow the steps and you're not willing to see how the steps are going to play out, then they're not going to work either way.
Yeah. It's true. It's like that, having the autonomy or like choosing for yourself. Like if they don't want to do it, like they're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make people. It's like agency.
Yep. All right. So next question. How have you been impacted as you have read this book?
I think it just has like a lot of good things that apply to like my life as like a TR and then like in my personal life too. My relationships with like roommates and like friends and family, just like how to look at yourself first and like not point the blame immediately to someone else and say like, well, if they changed, this would be better. Or, like if they did this, I wouldn't have to do this. Like it's up to you.
Exactly. Yeah, and that the next two questions are how do they apply to you professionally and how do they help you personally? So I know we talked about this like the very first week, but I really like the perspective that the book has, where it's not like a textbook format, it's more real. And I feel like because of that, it just makes it so much more relatable. And for that reason, it's made a pretty big impact on my life because reading the textbooks, I mean, it's just textbook answers, it's basic facts. And from reading this, you kind of have to think about how all these things work, and then you naturally think about how it relates to you personally rather than just in the TR field. And I think professionally, these lessons can really help me at least have a better perspective with clients because I worked in a few different fields, different populations, and sometimes it's really hard to like view your clients as people because you are there to help them, and sometimes if they're not grasping things you're trying to teach them, it gets really frustrating. But it's always important to like take a step back and realize they're people too and they're learning, and they may have something that's preventing them from learning as fast as other people, and you just kind of have to build off of that and just get to know them and figure out what works best. And then personally, I think it can help in pretty much every relationship that you ever encounter in your life, whether it be with someone as close to you as your spouse or somebody that's just in one of your classes that you may have a hard time with.
Yeah.
I just think the whole book just kind of gives you a good perspective of how you should be viewing people and how to not be judgmental and ultimately to be Christ-like if you put it in a gospel perspective.
Yeah. I feel like this book is not gospel, but it follows a lot of the teachings that we teach in our church.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty hand in hand, but cool.
Yep. Anything else on that book?
I think it was good. It was nice to read something that wasn't a textbook.
Yeah.
Enjoyable.
The pages didn't seem as long as reading 70 pages of a textbook.
It's like I sat there and I would read it. I work in like the testing center. It's super slow in the morning, so I'd like sit there and read it, and it's like I was enjoying it because I'd bring other textbooks and I'm like I would like read 2 pages and be done and like not want to read anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh, did we lose Vivian? Like, is she coming back?
I don't know.
I was like, I don't know.
We lost her a little while ago, but normally she comes back by now.
I thought she would come back, and then she didn't. So
Hopefully she will.
okay. Do we just want to move on to the next part?
Yeah. The next part is all about budgets and funding. So we have to, the first thing says, identify any 4 different types of budgets and provide an example of each. And
So the zero-based budgeting, where like every dollar is allocated to something. So So at the end it says 0. You don't have like plan to have like extra. You have, this is what I need and like I'm gonna spend it all.
Yeah.
For like new programs it was saying it's for.
Yep. Yeah, it's good for like side programs or whatever, just so you make sure you have what you need and there's no need to like make a profit off of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so another one that I liked, oh gosh, where did all my notes go?
Ooh. Look it in.
I liked the fee budget. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that was kind
cool.
of interesting, just because like when I think of budgets, I always think of like, how am I gonna save money? But the fee budget is used to like map out what expenses you're going to have, and then you put in what profit you're going to want to make off of it, or if you even want to make a profit. And then based off of that, you can decide how much money you need to charge people to receive that service.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Because like it was like, oh, if you have like 10 participants, you can charge this much, or like you need at least this many people to even do it.
Mm-hmm.
So just figuring out, and you have to like, so it kept like Sister Greenwood was stressing how important like advertising is, because like if you don't have those at least 10 participants, like you can't do the activity.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
So another cool one, the capital budget. I liked that one because it like kind of keeps your focus on a bigger item that you want. The example Sister Greenwood said was like a pool or a ropes course or something. And so it's kind of like a savings budget almost, where you just take anything that you have extra and you put it back into this budget so that that one can just keep growing and it doesn't get touched until you have enough money for whatever you wanted to add.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Because like I think sometimes like in a big company you would have like a little surplus, but then like maybe they're not going to use it for like what you want for your like your specific program as like a recreational therapist. I can see that like the money be taken away because like I don't know. I feel like in a lot of places we're not seen as like high of importance as other therapies maybe. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was cool. So like no one else can touch it.
Yeah, I like that. And then one more. Was there another one that you liked?
Um, I just thought like there's the performance program budget. That's something we're probably going to be using like every day because it's like filling out like what supplies you need and then like how much it's going to cost and like specific to like that activity or like that therapy, whatever you're planning on doing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something we're going to use almost every day or every week.
Yeah, that one was cool. All right. Let's see. Those. So funding, identify 4 different types of funding for your WPO agency. So I need to pick 4 ways to get funds for our WPO.
So is ours nonprofit or for profit?
I don't care. I don't think we decided.
Yeah, I don't think we did. What are most like residential places for at-risk youth? Like, are they nonprofit? I think they are. I'm not sure.
I really don't know because I know like a lot of hospitals are nonprofit hospitals, but I don't know about like specific TR facilities.
I'm gonna look up nonprofit for at-risk youth like facilities.
Okay.
I feel like probably they're nonprofit, and then they just like receive grants from the government. I would think, but
Yeah, or like the third party. Is the third party reimbursements like insurance companies?
that's what I was thinking. But I wasn't completely sure on that one. I was kind of confused, to be honest.
It wasn't super clear, but it sounds like That's what it is, because it sounds like it's a different company that's going to pay for a client. And it was talking about how a lot of those third-party companies won't pay for it if you're not accredited or something, like if it's not, what did she say, active treatment. It doesn't sound like it's worth
Oh, yeah.
for, and so it sounds like it's an insurance.
And it's like you have to like say that it's like treatment and not recreation when you're like claiming it to the insurance companies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up like Center for Change. I know that's not at-risk youth, but like I'm trying to think of other facilities that I know that are popular that like if they're nonprofit or not. Sure. Yeah, Center for Change is nonprofit. I mean, that's for eating disorders, but that's like a big place.
Yeah.
It says it's a place where nonprofits share ideas and resources. So
I mean, we could do
I don't
a
really care.
non-profit.
Let's just, do you want to do nonprofit or doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. So probably like third party reimbursement is going to be one of our, we have to choose 3.
4.
4. Okay.
And I'll write them all down.
Okay. Probably grants. That's one of the alternative ones, but I feel like it's going to be a big one if it's nonprofit.
Yeah.
Like grants and like fundraising and donations.
Yeah, because nonprofit facilities usually will get donations. And then also in the video it said you don't have to pay taxes if you need those for a nonprofit. So let's do that, fundraising, grants, and then third party. And then we have to, let's see, 4 different types, summarize each type and describe which ones are used. Or what? Describe in which situations each type is best used. So third party, we just kind of said that. Probably insurance companies. Grants, that's money that you get from the government because you show them that you are worth the money.
Yeah.
Fundraisers raise money by doing different things. And then donations is people will just donate to your facility to help run it.
I feel like fundraising and donations like are pretty hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like the same almost.
And I think those ones too also have a big emphasis on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So situations you would use them. When you need money.
I was like, so like when you're a nonprofit and you need money, like
exactly.
I don't know else. Okay.
Right.
So
that's all that we have to discuss.
Cool. Do we have to submit anything for our WPO, or is that next week?
I didn't see anything or anywhere to submit it.
I didn't see it either, but sometimes online is like confusing.
Lesson 7, we have to do section 9. Oh yeah, lesson 8 is section 3 and 6. It's all over the place.
Okay.
So I guess just be thinking about section 9 for next week.
Okay. I have 2 weeks coming up that I'm going to be out of town on Thursdays.
Okay.
I'm going to send like a group email, but if we like move the time around, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. I was only doing Thursdays because of work, but I work for a school district and school's out, so now I'm fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it's like the Tuesday after Father's Day weekend, and then the 8th, I think it is. But I'll email you guys just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And then I don't remember if I said this in the email. Did you see anywhere to submit the WPO sections last week?
I don't think I did. I don't remember.
Because I just emailed Sister Bennett the link to our Google Drive because I
I
couldn't.
remember you sent that, and then I looked, and no, I didn't. Unless she's like fixed it, and there is a link now, which
Okay. I still don't see one because there was a link, but it was broken.
okay. Yeah, I didn't see it. That's weird.
And then it's not anywhere like in the assignment space to submit. So
I just feel like the online sometimes is like, I don't know.
it's such a mess.
Yeah. Even like I'm in Sister Greenwood's class, and like it's an in-class class, but like where you have the online option too, and like it's always like the links don't work, and like because for you for like some of the assignments, like I got like it was like the little like quizzes, and I'm like almost positive I did them, and then like it's showing I didn't do them, so like one of them like gave me an F.
Whoa, that happened to me last week with the weekly review. Or
Yeah,
the
two of them up like that, and I'm like, I swear I checked everything and it was all done because every week I go through and like double check.
Yeah, me too. I saw that this morning. I was like, F.
That's what I did. Yeah. So I'm gonna email her, but like I'm like I double check every time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Well, hopefully, but whatever. Okay.
Right. Well, so next week,
Back. Sorry, did she email you back when you emailed the WPO? No. Okay. Maybe like post on the discussion board. We can do that and like ask anyone else.
yeah, I can do that right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, just let me know what time next
Okay.
week.
I will email you guys. Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good
Bye. You too.
night.